Silver Falls Episode Prelude from Sungrand Studios is a bite-sized budget game that marks the Silver Falls series' first foray into HD graphics. For the most part, if you've played 3 Down Stars on 3DS, you pretty much know what to expect as far as mechanics and controls, because this is largely the same type of game, but on Switch. It looks better, but it's shorter. It's very much a prelude in that it's a first chapter, not a fully contained story. Sungrand is planning more chapters in the future, as well as a big update to episode Prelude. But even if this is just the introduction to the full story, it's a great peek at what the future of Silver Falls on Switch could be. You play as Romanik, a young man who's about to start college, who works 2 jobs, one doing construction for $1 Million Buck, because Silver Falls has the absolute best character names, and who works another job part-time, doing delivery for Chunky Chicken. As he's making a delivery to a house in the area just outside of Silver Falls, he has 2 things on his mind: Mr. Dollarbuck's downward spiral via text message, and the mystery surrounding the house to which he's supposed to deliver the chicken. He's delivered here numerous times before, but for some reason the property seems totally abandoned. To unravel the mystery of Mr. Dollarbuck's melancholy and the empty property fully, or as fully as you can in a prelude, you'll need to invest around an hour, maybe an hour and a half, replying to Million's texts and exploring the property for clues, as well as a way to defend yourself. While the game story is very short, you could clear it in less than an hour, maybe less than half an hour if you know what you're doing, where to go, and ignore all of Dollarbuck's texts, or alternatively you could spend nearly 2 hours exploring everything. There's a lot to see. It might be because I'm already invested in some of these characters, having played other games in the series, and invested in the world of Silver Falls, but I was totally sucked into the stories and the location. It also ends on a cliffhanger fit for a 90s TV drama, with a cold opening which is tantamount to torture, considering that the game's been out for around a year and still hasn't received a sequel, although Jarrell, the developer at Sungrand, assures me that he does have one planned. The environments are dark, and while that can make exploration a little bit frustrating, trying to see what's there, it also does add a lot to the suspense and the tension, so in my opinion it's a worthwhile trade-off, considering that this is a horror game. Once you finish the story mode, that doesn't necessarily mean you've seen all the game has to offer. There's also a battle mode, and it's got things that you unlock by finding certain things and completing certain tasks in the story mode. In this battle mode, it offers a chance to fight off waves of enemies with different characters, each of whom have their own traits and weapons, and to fight in different locations. It's not nearly as fleshed out as the Frontier Fighters mode in 3 Down Stars on 3DS, but it definitely adds enough content to justify the price of admission for the game. With how much better the game controls than 3 Down Stars, considering that here you're using dual analog sticks rather than that unholy C-nub on the 3DS, I honestly prefer playing Battle Mode in Episode Prelude over Frontier Fighters and 3 Down Stars, despite how much less content there is here. It's a fun mode, and it controls so much better on Switch. Silver Falls Episode Prelude is a very short game, but it's a good one with a good story. Think of it kind of like reading 1408 versus reading Salem's Lot, if you're into Stephen King. It's really short, and that can be a bummer to folks who are used to long novels, or in this case games, but it's supposed to be short, and what is there is thoroughly enjoyable. Some folks have complained that $8 is too steep a price for a game that's this short, and if it were just the story mode, I would be inclined to agree. But the battle mode adds enough gameplay and enough variety with the different characters and locations to justify that price in my opinion. It's not a full-featured 12-hour horror experience. It's a bite, a morsel, an appetizer. It hooks you with just enough to make you say, huh, that was cool. I'd love to see more Silver Falls on Switch. I think it does that quite well. I absolutely wish the game were longer. But I'm also one of those folks used to long novels and long video games. I am eagerly awaiting the next Silver Falls game on Switch that continues this story, and I definitely recommend you check out Episode Prelude in the meantime. My rating for Silver Falls Episode Prelude on Nintendo Switch is a B.